I used to believe in not paying the electric bill. Seems like paying for it finally helped you see the light. I used to believe in harnessing lightning for electricity, but then it struck me. That's not shocking at all. I'll bet when it got turned off you were not shocked. At least you got no charge. Let there be light. What were you thinking? Not paying your electricity bills is a real turn-off. They say only through the darkness you will see the light. That was a lie. Glad you switched. I saw the light. So you became enlightened? This joke, powered by Exelon. If you pay, more power to you. One day I decided to pay it. It was like, light bulb, popped on in my brain, but then I did, and now everything in front of my eyes is nice and bright. Believe it or not, in some countries in Eastern Europe, it was possible not to pay electricity bills and nothing, one would still have electricity. This joke is a Julie. My son Han thinks it's awesome I named my kids after Star Wars characters. Wookiee error. Luke, I'm not one to lay a guilt trip on anyone for how they name their kids, but if my wife named our kids that, I'd throw her out the window. My Hispanic wife and I couldn't agree between Star Wars and her heritage, so we named our son Obi-Wan. Yeah, I may have given my son an eating disorder by naming him Jabba. Yoda guy that did that? Han Solo in that opinion. Can't be Sidious as the Dagobah, it's gonna be hard for her. Change it to Chewbacca? Or Chewbacca? Honestly, as someone whose real name is Han Chinese name, I'm rather sick of the Star Wars jokes I constantly get by now. Lol. Is your third kid named Jar Jar? I get it, a name like Chewbacca could give her problems when she's ready for dating. Come here Han, you are the chosen one. Older Redditors, what do young people get completely wrong about past decades? How common drinking driving was. Until Mad came along, people did this routinely. It's where one for the road originated, probably underestimating how few choices there. It seems like everything imaginable is available in a variety of sizes, delivered to your door and mail order, with 4-6 week were the best thing ever. All the stores in one place, and not downtown. Maybe not everyone's experience, but for me there was casual violence everywhere. Smacking kids was not only tolerated but expected. Hit by parents, friends' parents, random adults in the neighborhood, teachers etc. Then you get beat for making the teacher hit you. What will the neighbors think was real? Omar Epps moved next to Chris Hemsworth. Fuck, that was a lot of build up for that pun. A joke I haven't heard before and it's funny? Bravo, bra fucking oh, get it. Joke of the year on this sub. Not bad, original to me. Our angry upvote. No, he didn't, did he? Slow clap. Wow, I had no idea where that was going. It wasn't even that funny. Just an impressive amount of build up for that tiny payoff. Lamau. Hey, worth it. Maybe Ed Helms would fit better than Chris does that extra L ruin joke. Our Fig Hoot would like a word with you. So hot right now. Not the funniest, but I appreciate the work and originality. Okay Google. Chris, I'm old and just don't care anymore. I must have missed that movie. One of the most humbling experiences of aging is seeing a photo of yourself from 20 years ago wearing a coat you still wear. The other is realizing that after 20 years you look older, but essentially feel like the same person instead of a kid. Remember once there was an on this day Facebook memory from a party and happened to be hanging out with my friends. They started teasing my husband and I, because we were wearing the exact same tops as 10 years ago. For one, I am happy I still fit in same clothes so they can make fun all they want. I still have that top by the way. I'm 42 and still wear some clothes I had in high school. I still wear leather jackets from when I was in middle school. The only difference is they don't fit me large anymore and they fit perfectly. I still wear my tactical boots from when I joined the army and the pants too. If it ain't broke don't fix it. I still wear a t-shirt I got from an 8th grade basketball tournament. In my 30s. People who are 55 and happy with your life, what is your best advice to those under 25? Treat your body well now, because you will either reap the rewards of it or suffer the consequences of it. Your life, and explore your hobbies and make your friends. Take this time to grow and heal and become the best version of yourself that you can. Be patient and pursue meaningful goals. Don't give a damn what anybody thinks of you. Learn how to save and invest money now. If you learn how to do this, 55-year-old you will be forever grateful to 25-year-old you. Chase what makes you happy, not what you feel obligated to do to please parents, for example. Don't compare yourself to others, it will suck the joy from your life. Poor kids know that they are poor far earlier than rich kids know that they are rich. Some rich kids never learn. I think it's more that whatever status you grew up with is your barometer of normal, so you don't question it. Poor kids don't need to figure it out, the world will remind them constantly. Being wealthy, it takes time and experience to move outside your social circle where people likely have the same wealth you do. Also, people's definitions of rich and poor vary wildly. I knew by grade 3 when my teacher had to demand that I be taken for an eye exam, because I couldn't see my schoolwork and was failing. My drunk, abusive father refused. He was done being bled dry by his 3 kids needing clothes, food, school supplies, medical and a few other things prompted the divorce. I finally got glasses. But my mom had to fight bitterly with her siblings to borrow a few $100s from my grandmother to do it. So I just did possibly the dumbest thing I've probably ever done in my life. I'm having a truly terrible day, and this joke not only took my mind off it all for a minute, but actually made me smile when I didn't think I could. Thank you, stranger. Fine. Take the upvote. Can't believe you had me till the end on that one. Well played. Like your style up. Great joke. Haven't heard this before and it has a perfect groan-worthy pun. Okay. That one finally made me sniff. This is my favorite style of joke, something you can tell that sounds like a real personal story until you get to the punchline. This has the makings of a really good R. Shaggy Dog stories. The Human Torch was denied a bank loan. I think I just woke everyone in the house cause of my screams of pure pain from reading this joke. I read this joke and felt compelled to. Wife and kids are now looking at me as if I lost my mind. Till human were naturally lactose intolerant. Tolerant people emerged in Europe starting several thousand years ago, while people of Africa, Middle East, and Asian remained intolerant. I think there was a study that showed lactose tolerance evolved independently in a few separate places. It's called lactase persistence. If our bodies keep producing lactase into adulthood, we can keep on metabolizing milk. Ancient Europeans seem to have thought that milk and cheese were worth the diarrhea. The first cattle herders in Ethiopia also developed lactose tolerance long ago, as did the Semitic desert tribes who were the first to domesticate camels. Fun fact: a huge factor to the success of the Mongols was their ability to digest lactose. Being able to drink horse milk allowed less provisions and supply chains. They literally could outrun the spreading news of their invasion. Cheese is tasty when melted between toasted bread, so it makes sense that it happened. Till in the 18th century, there was a practice in England known as wife selling. This unusual custom involved a man publicly auctioning off his wife to the highest bidder, often in a marketplace or a tavern. It was sometimes seen as a humorous way to escape an unhappy marriage. One of my great-uncles actually auctioned himself off at the tavern. He couldn't find a wife and he was approaching 30, so he got up on the bar and he said to everyone, "If there's any woman in here who will have me, I will take her hand." This older widower lady in her 40s stood up and was like, "Sure, I'll have you, sir," and they married the next day. They were together till she passed and had a few sons together. Like the mayor of Casterbridge. Turns out badly. It seems sometimes it was the agreed to, as it was expensive to get a divorce. It also seems like it was somewhat illegal, but it seems like not many cared. Yes, described in The Mayor of Casterbridge by Thomas Hardy. Till Carolina Olsen was a Swedish woman who supposedly fell into hibernation at age 14. She remained that way for 32 years and 42 days. Upon awakening, she did not recognize her family but remembered everything she had ever learned. Hibernation seems like an odd term for a coma. I'm surprised her muscles weren't more atrophied. Or that 2 glasses of milk a day was sufficient for her to survive on. She suffered a head wound while outdoors at age 14 on February 18, 1876, but seemed to recover from it quickly. On 22nd of February, she complained of a toothache. Her family believed that her tooth was sore because of witchcraft, and she was ordered to go to bed. However, when she fell asleep, she did not wake up. "I just hate when the witches make my teeth hurt. It hurts to watch others live out your dreams." Can't blame her. Some idiot had imprisoned the Dream Lord. Till anyone joining the French Foreign Legion must do so anonymously with a fake name. After 1 year they can request permission to divulge their real name, or, if they are in trouble with the law, the Legion will issue official documents for the fake name so they can fully assume a new identity. Jesus Christ, say Jason Bourne. I don't even need to read the article to know this, as I did read it, and, yes, bullshit. Whereas the French Foreign Legion will turn a blind eye to minor criminal records, it will not permit recruits into its ranks who have serious records or who are wanted by Interpol. There's a full ID verification process. Monsieur, we have few rules, but we cannot call you Carlos Danger. Till of the old river control structure, meant to prevent the Mississippi River changing course. If fails, it would cripple the U.S. economy, lead to a global food crisis. Several experts have recommended letting the river shift course naturally to avoid this. Soon as I saw the title, I was reminded of this. 0.35 not 45, damn it, years ago I read it in the original. Amazing how some things stay with you. And I do recommend you read it, he goes into amazing depth. It's the type of article that used to make the New Yorker great. Joke's on them, the river is so low now there's trouble with barges anyway. Till that Scooby-Doo 2002 was initially rated R and had to be recut to PG, which included using CGI to cover up cleavage. Release the gun cut. Sarah Michelle Gellar and Linda Cardellini 2002. Dear Lord, such a shame. Additional James Gunn's original screenplay had the villain finally revealed as actor Don Knotts, a payoff to Fred's line referring to Scooby's mistake at his Christmas party. I found this. Why are we not allowed to see Scooby-Doo's cleavage? An actual crime we didn't get cleavage. Why? R-rated James Gunn Scooby-Doo, and a lesbian kissing scene that I guess isn't PG. An R-rated Scooby-Doo honestly sounds amazing. Just completely lean into it and make it a full raunch fest. Release the uncut version. Parental guidance. Mommy, why have they covered up that lady's cleavage? Because tits are awesome, Timmy. And you're way too young for awesome things. Cowards robbed US of greatness. Till that in 1994, a Washington state man's death sentence was overturned because the judge believed that the man's weight could cause him to be decapitated by the scheduled hanging, deeming him too obese to hang. Till Washington was still doing executions by hanging in the 90s. I'm surprised the article doesn't mention the notorious hanging of Blackjack Ketchum, old Wild West outlaw, which is exactly what happened. The drop was a man 100 pounds less than Ketchum. He'd put on a bunch of weight. Turned out the rope was too long, and, instead, Ketchum's head popped clean off rather than his neck breaking. DA, we're gonna go for the death 500 ibs fat ass lol. Okay, I don't support the death penalty, but if you are gonna do it, why does it matter if it decapitates? Is it too shocking for the onlookers? Too big to flail. The Homer Simpson defense, I believe they called it. Pretty sick slam on him though. The Hathaway song What Is Love ruined our ability to have serious discussions about a key philosophical question. Yeah, but what if the real discussion was the memes we made along the way? Heard a preacher named Tony Evans say something very close to this. Love is the decision to compassionately and righteously pursue the well-being of another person. I really like that definition. I mean, I still want to know what love is. That crazy little thing called at the very least would ask, where is the love? Or is this love? Or how do really people can't help falling in love? We need stupid love. But it's all part of the bigger love, or real love, or maybe that would be better referred to as international. You can also get addicted to love, or run all out of love and have no love. This question has been clearly answered. It's a second-hand emotion. I don't know what love is. There's no need to ask that question anymore since the night at the Roxbury SNL sketch answered it once and for all. The naked runner. The other runner asks, but why are you fully aroused? Lover says, in case it's a close race at the end and I need to reach the finish line first. At least he still gets to. I like how you spoilered out the punchline. Do you always run with a butt plug in? Someone please explain the punchline. The only reason xylophone hasn't vanished into obscurity is so something can start with X. All school bands and most orchestra groups have at least some variation of the xylophone. X-Ray would like to slap you across the face. It's an instrument that almost no one plays or are in any popular songs. You're listening to the wrong music. It's incredibly popular in the band ensemble classical world. Xylophones are incredibly common in symphonic and orchestral music, which despite not appearing in your shower are still played regularly all over the world. Maybe try getting out more? The real reason. Counterpoint usage in pop music. Africa was a real banger. So does that is a lot harder and not as fun as xylophone. Xylophones are key parts of the percussion sections of orchestras and the like. What are some things that are just really poorly named? Lisp. X Twitter. Sounds like a porn site. Here in Miami, we have a zoo called Zoo Miami. It's just weird as if it was named that way. Why not Miami Zoo? Blowjob. Boneless wings. Inflammable. It has the same meaning as flammable, which is kinda weird. Cornea's Hungarian name is Saruhartya, meaning keratin membrane. It makes no sense because a cornea isn't made of keratin. The Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Driveway. Where you park. Parkway. Where you drive. Iceland, Greenland. Rapeseed. So much that they rebranded it to canola. Jet ski missed out on becoming motorcycle. JavaScript. So many recruiters think it's as to Java what ham is to hamster. Smeg fridges. Being head over real, almost always head over heels. What is a disgusting smell that you like? I work at a facility that houses animals and smells very strongly of those animals. Most people gripe about it, but man, I love it. There's something comforting about it. But I've been working with animals for nearly 20 years now, so maybe it's just a familiarity thing. Sharpie, don't worry, I don't huff them or anything. I'm just not bothered by the smell when I do have to use them. Petrol for sure. Mechanic shop smell. I love it. The aircon moldy smell that comes together with older libraries. Nostalgic. This is going to be weird AF, but to my underarms it has a slight sweet but sweaty smell like fresh asphalt. Boob sweat. The smell of firewood burning. Some find it suffocating, but I find it strangely nostalgic. Fish food flakes. What parts do you skip when you're watching porn? Gotta say, In a 30-minute video, I'll watch a total of 5. I never said it took me 5 minutes to finish, just that I watch a total of 5 minutes in a 30-minute video. I get bored and move on to the other. The sex, I'm here to see if the pizza gets eaten. I'll admit I skip the blowjobs. Doesn't do much for me. The close-ups of the penetration. Just a tube going in a hole does nothing for me on its own. The ads, everything but the money shot. I'm a busy guy. When the dude's hairy butt is all up in the camera, no thank you. I skip anything that has the balls in shot. I'll sometimes rewind back to the part when there was some clothing involved. Nothing turns me off more than seeing a sexy outfit in the thumbnail, only to find she's completely naked 10 minutes into the video. Naked is boring. Anything from the back of a guy, I don't want to see him. What's a fact that was taught in school that's been disproven in your lifetime? I learned tongue taste maps at school. Turns out it's complete nonsense. In pharmacy school around the turn of the century, we were taught that people in legitimate pain don't get addicted to opiates and opioids. All fat was bad for you. Thus fat-free foods became a thing for a while. Once you get to high school, nobody will accept papers not written in cursive. The food pyramid. No one is going to wait for you to look up information in the real world. You have to know. It has to be the most insane thing I ever heard. That George Washington's teeth were made of wood. No. It's so much worse. Eyes. Strangers will give me free drugs on street corners and in Halloween candy. Your permanent record will follow you into adulthood. That the appendix is a vestigial organ, and doesn't do too. The whole meteorite killed the dinosaurs thing wasn't yet the accepted theory when I was a kid. Genie and the Wish. Not looking at that map now. I'm sending this joke to my wife. Apparently, I'm an impossibly good husband.